Hello there, thank you for joining me and welcome to the XP Deus II factory program series. And today we're going to be talking about programs 2 and 3, sensitive and sensitive full tone. Now if I was to compare the sensitive program with the Deus I, it would indeed be the Deus Fast program. Very similar characteristics, but of course the sensitive program uses fast multi-frequency, and also there's some notch enabled to slightly eliminate the signals from troublesome coke. Now moving on to the sensitive full tone program, that's very much like the hot program on the Deus I. Again, it's got some notch enabled and a -6.4 discrimination, so there's absolutely no iron rejection on this program. We're relying on the tones to give us all the information we need. So let's go on to our static test target and let you hear what the sensitive and the sensitive full tone programs sound like. Now this target's Georgia 5th sixpence buried at about 9 inches deep. Now these differ very slightly. As I said earlier, the sensitive is very similar to the Deus I Deus Fast. The sensitive full tones is almost the same as the hot program on the Deus I. Sensitive uses a 6.8 discrimination, sensitive full tones uses a -6.4 discrimination, so it's wide open, there's no discrimination at all, but we're relying on the tones to discriminate the target. Well, actually we're relying on the tones to give us an identification of the target. So okay, let's go over George with the sensitive program first and see what it sounds like. A lovely sweet two-way signal, and once again referring back to the general program, you can adjust those tones to suit your hearing. Now let's just have a tweak around here and see if we can make adjustments to this. We've got the reactivity at 2.5, which I think is doing a pretty good job for this ground. We've got the sensitivity, which is at 90. Now I think we could probably push this sensitivity a little bit more, so let's raise the sensitivity up and see what happens. We're at 95 now, 98 now, and we're getting a little bit of EMI chirping. Can you hear that? Now a top tip here is to do a noise cancel, because if you do a noise cancel for a clean EMI channel, you might be able to push that sensitivity a couple more notches. So here we go, let's press and hold the GB button and do a noise cancel. It's an automatic noise cancel and you can see it running through there. That's all done now. So I don't think making changes to that noise cancel made any difference. It's a little bit chirpy still, so I think 98 is a little bit too high for this particular environment, so I'm going to stick to 95. So let's try sensitivity 95. That's given me about 1.5 inches extra depth on this target, so raising your sensitivity does make a difference, but don't push it too far because it will punish you. So let's now go on to sensitive full tones using the full tone audio. Now for those of you who don't know about the full tone audio, it's on a sliding scale, so the low conductivity targets and the iron come in as a low tone, and it's on a sliding scale up until the high conductive targets, where this sixpence here is indeed a high conductive target, so I'd be expecting a high tone. So let's let you hear what it sounds like. And there you go, it's a nice smooth, almost like a cat meowing sound, isn't it? Once again, the target ID is exactly the same as the other programs, 82. So can we make any adjustments to the sensitive full tone program? Well, we can't go lower on the discrimination, but we can go higher on the sensitivity. It's at 90. Let's go to 95 because we know that's the sweet spot. Sensitivity 95. Once again, we've got an extra 1.5 inches on that target. Any other changes we can make? Well, we can change the audio response to bring that target closer. We can make it a little bit louder. So let's go from audio response 4 to audio response 6 and listen to it now. Now, audio response doesn't give you any more depth, but it makes the signals louder. The audio response, if it's set low, will give you a quiet sound for small and deep targets and a loud sound for shallow or large targets, so you can get a good perception of depth regarding the audio response. We've got lots of videos on that subject, so if you have a look on the XP website, you'll see more information. So that's your audio response, and I don't think there's anything else we can do to really push this sensitive full tone program. It is what it is, and it's working really well over this particular target. The sensitive full tone program uses the full tone audio, which is an excellent choice for searching in amongst iron. What you're listening for is a high pitched tone in amongst the low grumbles. And this is also great for park hunting when searching for silver coins, because the silver coins really sing out loud. And that's what you're looking out for. I very often use the full tone program where I'm specifically looking for the higher conductive targets. We call it cherry picking. Now, in front of me here I've got 2 low conductive targets and somewhere around there a high conductive target. I'll let you listen to them. That's our first target, and it's coming up at about 58, something like that. Quite a low tone, isn't it? And the second target's just here, and that's coming up at 51. So these 2 targets are very similar in tone and conductivity. Now our third target is a screamer. It's coming up at 91, and that's a high conductive target. So for example, if I was looking for just the big silver or the chunky targets, I would ignore these 2 targets and just dig the high conductive target. But we're not going to ignore them. Let's dig them out. Let's go to the target number 1, the low conductive target. Could well be trash. I don't think this is very deep. So there it is, small piece of lead coming in with a low tone. Okay, let's go and check the next one. Again, a low tone, could even be the same sort of target. A little bit deeper, this one, I think. And that's what it is. Again, it's another small piece of lead. Okay, let's see what that high tone is now, that high conductive target. .91 on the screen. Loud one. Whoa, look at that. I know what that is. I know what that is. That's your high conductive target. That is a medieval heraldic pendant. That's a really cool find. So if you wanted to cherry pick the good stuff, the high conductors, you can use a full tone audio.